Much of the motion picture Quezon's Game was shot on location in the historical town of Las Casas Filipinas de Acuzar in the Philippines. After scouting the location, I decided most of the interiors would be best shot using an overhead lighting grid, which we call a waffle. This sequence, for instance, was lit only using overhead hanging lights.
Yes, what is it?
I'm looking for Alex. Is he around?
He just stepped out. He should be back soon. Mr. President, I heard that you sometimes visit, but I didn't know you would be here today.
It was unannounced. No need to worry.
This style of lighting allows for fast, unobstructed shooting with little or no downtime between setups, keeping your rolling time to its maximum and your budget to its minimum. This scene was also shot on location. Again, I used only overhead lighting as there were 12 camera setups and all 2-camera OTS, or over the shoulder. Having light stands on the floor would have limited and obstructed me throughout the shooting of this scene. So I designed an all-overhead lighting setup. This sequence was shot in a soundstage. Most sound stages will have a suspended lighting grid, or the production will set up its own grid, as we did in this studio. So, if you want an overhead grid on location, how do you set it up? This is the Kinetech Tower and Waffle Kit. It is quite sophisticated and easy to set up, but you don't need fancy equipment to achieve this. The main elements are the tubes, in this case 2-inch aluminum. Build the grid to the size and shape you want, supported by the towers at the grid's corners. The Kinetech towers can be raised and lowered very easily, so the lights can be fitted to the grid by the crew while standing on the floor. Then set out and grip the lights to the plot or design of the DOP, and raise the towers to the height you want. It's very simple. However, telescopic towers need pulleys and a counterweight system of some type. Fixed towers are another and simpler option, but the lights will need to be hung using ladders or lifts, often at quite a height. I shot this scene from the TV show The Boston without telescopic towers. All these restaurant scenes were shot in an events hall with a 30 by 30 waffle supported by fixed wooden towers made by the production design team and approved by the key grip. You can see one here in plain sight, and another tower here. They were made of 3/4 ply and painted black to become part of the set. If you look closely enough, you can see one tube of the waffle grid bending just below the dipped ceiling here.
Please, sit down. Hey, thanks a lot for setting us up. Not a problem, sir.
There are now no stands to obstruct your framing or location, but there are 4 towers in each corner. To make these invisible is the job of the production designer. This structural pillar in the corner of this ancestral home is actually a 3-sided cover for the tower. You can see them clearly in many of the shots, but unless you know what they are, they become part of the set or location.
Alex, what is it?
Set the towers first in the corners or position you want, then build the waffle to the shape required. Production design requested an extra extension to this waffle to hang paintings from, as the location would not allow anything to touch the walls. This tower cover is actually the same tower cover we used in the ancestral home. We just painted it white for the president's office. This waffle setup is using the same covers again, but only becomes noticeable when your attention is drawn to it. Towers appear in almost every shot, but unless you actually know these are tower covers, they are invisible to the audience. In this studio setup, the tower covers were made extra large to give a sense of grandeur to the fake architecture. We set the towers up quite away from the wall, so the thick pillars look as if they were the supports of a large building. When dollying, the shift in parallax helps with the illusion of size and depth. In this frame, we raised the lighting grid to 12 feet and built the cover 12 feet as well. The height gives a sense that there is a very high and grand ceiling, but of course there was none. That is how I supported all the hanging lights on the location interiors of Quezon's game. It is a lighting process that is not very well known or commonly used, but once you have tried overhead lighting on location, you will find it opens up incredible aesthetic and technical possibilities, as well as dramatically reducing your downtime. I hope this film has been useful to you.